Hi guys, Gimp here. I've been watching a lot of documentaries about serial killers lately, uh, and there is one case in particular that I would like to share my opinion on. It is the Richard Ramirez case, also known as the Night Stalker, seen here looking like Michael Jackson. He's currently in jail for 13 accounts of murder, 5 attempted murders, and 11 accounts of rape. First off, let me just tell you, I'm not going to play the blame game here, even if in the beginning it will sound like I am. I'm just trying to figure out some of the many components that it takes to build a serial killer. And as I have watched all these documentaries, I started thinking about two elements that are present in almost all of them, and that is the Christian faith and violent sex. And that is what I'm going to talk to you about. In the end, Richard Ramirez is responsible for his own action, no matter how you look at it. And also, I'm not defending Ramirez. He's a fucking asshole. He's a terrible, terrible man, and he deserves everything that's coming to him. So I'm not defending him in any way. Just want to make that clear. Richard's first contact with sex and violence came from his cousin, who was a Green Beret in the Vietnam War, where he had on several occasions bound, raped, and murdered Vietnamese women, and he got away with it because no one gave a shit, because it was a war. He even took pictures of the mutilated bodies, and when he got home, he showed those pictures to young Ramirez along with stories, just like you would tell a child a story from a book with illustrations to go with it. After a fight with his wife, Ramirez's cousin pulled out the gun and shot her right in front of young Ramirez. With that in mind, I would like to talk about porn. Now, I'm against porn, not because I'm a prude, but because I believe it portrays negative gender roles. It reduces all women into cock-hungry whores who will drop anything just to please a man. So imagine if you at a young age started to watch really, really hardcore porn. It wouldn't be as bad as actually seeing it yourself or having someone show you real pictures of it. But there's bound to leave some scars that will affect your way of thinking about women and about sex for the rest of your life. As Rex Barber, who is a forensic psychologist, explains, and he says, and I quote, early adolescence is the time of imprinting. It is where our very basic internal sexual structures are developed. By seeing a fusion of sexuality and violence, what happened to Ramirez was that two forces of life that are usually kept apart were fused together. Now, this basically means it's a matter of conditioning. If you associate violence with sex over a long enough time span, they will eventually become inseparable. Now, do I believe that all who watches porn becomes rapists? No, I do not. But a small percentage does, and now that percentage may not be all that big, but it only takes one rape to make it one too many. Christianity. Now, Christianity is also a factor in this case, I think, anyways. If you're different than your peers, if you experience what Richard experienced and starts to fantasize about rape and murder, and at the same time you have been indoctrinated with Jesus and God, since you were a little kid, of course your first thought isn't that there is something wrong with you psychologically and that you need help. No, the first thought of you is instead that you're a product of Satan. It's the logical decision to make if you're raised to believe in God and you have those strange thoughts and ideas, which is exactly what Ramirez did. He got more and more intrigued with the dark forces. Later on, at the scene of one of his murders, he painted a pentagram on the wall. which is strange to me because it wasn't an inverted pentagram. It was an ordinary pentagram. The Christian belief had him thinking that he was, as I said, a product of Satan. Now, it's my belief uh, that if he, as a young child who was introduced into a world of rape and murder by his uncle, hadn't been a Christian when he started to have these thoughts of his own about rape and murder and fantasize about it, he would have told someone. He would have sought some kind of help, but the Christian faith instead taught him to be ashamed of it, and he bottled it down inside. And he turns to a God that will accept him and those sick thoughts. And of course, Satan, come as you are, you know the slogan. Uh, Thus, I believe the religious beliefs prevented him from seeking the help he desperately needed. In Sweden, we have 4 or 5 serial killers. At least that's the only information I can gather from the internet. Uh, why is that? Why is it that we have so few and America has spit them out by the dozen? Is it because we are genetically different? Of course not. But I believe that one reason to why it is because we're not a Christian nation. We have had a separation of church and state. Up to 92%, I think, uh, of the Swedish population do not believe in a God. We are an atheist nation, or at least an agnostic nation. We do not have the same repressed ideas of sexuality that comes with the Christian nation. If someone is feeling like they are in some way psychologically ill, we take care of them with free healthcare, and we do not base our judgment and decisions on the belief in a mystical being. And I think that's the main reason we don't have any serial killers, because we take care of our people. You fuckers don't. Peace.